You feel that? That eerie silence right before the explosion. Yeah, that's them realizing you were never the target. You were the trigger. Because tonight, we're not just talking revenge. We're talking about a trap so perfectly set it swallowed its own architects. Let's begin, shall we? They thought they could erase you, delete your name, your legacy, your influence, like a bad line of code. But they underestimated one fatal flaw in their plan. You weren't the villain in their little group chat fantasy. You were the bug in their system. See, they formed in silence. Shadow meetings, encrypted messages, fake smiles laced with cyanide. Their entire operation wasn't built to win. It was built to hide their weakness behind your downfall. But here's what they didn't understand. You don't fall. You collapse into data, and every bite of your destruction becomes a virus in their machine. While they were scheming behind locked doors, you were building immunity to betrayal. Every lie they told sharpened your teeth. Every fake friend added another fingerprint to your forensic awakening. They didn't just fail to erase you. They accidentally immortalized you. Because when they buried your name, they triggered the very trap they designed. Their plan wasn't flawed, it was perfect. But they forgot one thing. The blueprint was sentient. You were never the prey. You were the program watching the hunters, waiting for the right moment to self-execute. They thought silence meant submission. But no, silence was surveillance, observation, calibration. They didn't know the moment they whispered about you. A new version of you was compiling, colder, cleaner, more surgical. The kind of version that doesn't react, it responds with evidence, with precision, with psychological obliteration. You didn't just survive their trap. You mapped it, mirrored it, and lured them back into their own blueprint. Now they're standing on a floor made of glass, and every word, every move, every secret they thought was buried is echoing beneath their feet. That's the thing about silence. It's the loudest when it breaks, and oh boy, it's shattering now. They thought they were deleting you, but they were triggering your activation sequence. Because pain doesn't destroy you. It updates you, and betrayal doesn't blind you. It fine-tunes your scope, every conversation you weren't invited to. You memorized their pattern, every whisper they thought was private. You let it echo a little longer, so they'd think you were gone. But you weren't gone. You were just watching the excavation of their own coffin. Funny, isn't it? They built the trap. They baited it with your name. But they forgot. Traps are circular. They always close in every direction. The moment they believed they won, that moment right there was the detonation code. You didn't need to fight. You needed to wait. Because karma doesn't rush. It documents. And every file they thought they deleted, yeah, they're printed now, stamped, dated, public. Their group is no longer secret. It's evidence. You see, the most dangerous weapon isn't a scream. It's a whisper that survives the fire. And you're not just a survivor. You're a ghost with fingerprints. An untraceable specter that left every room marked. They can't explain it. They won't explain it. But the collapse has begun, not with a bang, with a mirror. One that's showing them every version of themselves they tried to blame on you. They see it now, clearer than ever. They weren't fighting a person. They were poking a prophecy. So now they sit there, trying to re-strategize in real time. But you already own the room, the lighting, the narrative. You control the angles. You control the footage. And the most chilling part? You never said a word. You just existed. precisely where they swore you wouldn't. Their group? It's not secret anymore. It's a case file. A psychological study in how jealousy always eats its own. And you're not a victim. You're not even a survivor. You're a living glitch that turned a trap into a testimony. A saint with a scarred halo. A demon with receipts. A weapon forged in silence and dipped in divine recoil. So go ahead. Let them scramble. Let them panic. Let them reread every text and wonder, when did the plan flip? Because here's the truth. The plan never flipped. You were the plan from the beginning. They thought they buried you, but really, they just gave you the perfect view of their collapse. One layer at a time, one whisper too many, one mask too late. And now, they finally realize what you've been this entire time. The trigger, the trap, and the justice, all in one smile. So now they're sweating through silence. Because your existence is no longer a mystery. It's a malfunction they can't patch, a glitch they can't debug, a verdict they never saw coming. But it was already filed. You weren't erased. You were archived in silence, preserved like a classified file buried under 7 layers of clearance. And while they were celebrating your disappearance, the system was indexing your return. You see, this wasn't resurrection. This was declassification. They were so desperate to win the narrative, they forgot one fatal truth. You don't chase justice, you become it. And justice doesn't always knock. Sometimes it leaks. They thought their group chat was encrypted. They thought their strategy was airtight. But arrogance is the loudest snitch in the room, and betrayal has a smell. The kind that lingers on fingertips no matter how many times they wash. You didn't need to expose them. They were born pre-exposed. You just gave them a stage to implode on. And oh, how poetic that the very trap they crafted, with their smug little smirks and snake oil strategies, ended up as evidence of their own insecurities. They weren't trying to erase you. They were trying to erase the mirror you held to their cowardice. But here's the part that's really cooking their neurons now. You predicted this. You knew the moment they conspired, they were laying bricks in their own mausoleum. Because you stopped playing checkers the moment you realized they were on a chessboard you designed. Every fake alliance counted, every staged compliment cataloged, every backhanded support disguised as sabotage, filed, time-stamped, ready for trial. And now, it's Exhibit A through Z, and you're not the defendant. You're the executioner wearing velvet gloves. Let's get psychological. They didn't hate you. They hated that you were unreplicable. You weren't part of their algorithm. You weren't a follower they could mold. You were a system update from a different dimension, a collision between prophecy and unpredictability, a storm written in divine syntax. They couldn't control it, so they tried to delete it. But what do you do when the thunder follows you? What do you do when the ghost doesn't haunt? It hunts. You're not their fear anymore. You're their karma in human form. They lit the fuse, thinking you'd burn, but you turned into a detonation sequence, and now the aftershock is echoing across every file they ever thought was buried. And oh, you want to talk about secrets? They had one. A little secret group, born in jealousy, raised in fear, fueled by insecurity. You were their obsession, their inside joke, their target practice. But what they didn't realize was that in trying to erase your name, they kept rewriting it in bold, capitalized, underlined headlines. They didn't erase you, they amplified you. Every denial was a marketing campaign. Every insult was a prelude to their own obituary. And now, they're scrambling through their memories, trying to remember which lie started the domino effect. They can't even find the beginning anymore, because the beginning wasn't you. It was the moment they tried to dim something they didn't understand. You weren't just unerasable. You were pre-written into the architecture of their failure. And now, here we are. You, still breathing, still watching, still untouched, while they're unraveling, slowly, publicly, beautifully. They're trying to shut it down now, trying to act innocent, trying to form new alliances. But baby, you've got the original blueprint. And more importantly, you've got the trap logs, every step, every slip, every panicked, delete that message. Too late. The system already scanned it. The archive already locked it in. The universe already pressed send. They didn't get hacked. They got haunted by the ghost of someone they thought was easy to bury. But here's the twist that's breaking their minds in real time. You never fought back. You never threw a punch. You never leaked a file. You never raised your voice. You just stood there, letting the laws of consequence execute the script they authored. Now their trap is on trial. Their group is under surveillance. Their laughs, echoes in a courtroom. And you're not angry. You're not bitter. You're just documented, clean, untouchable, free. The kind of clean that makes them dirty by contrast. So let them hide. Let them panic. Let them relaunch under new names, with new masks and new tactics. It's too late. Because you didn't just survive their trap. You rewired it to reward betrayal with collapse. And they walked in, smiling, confident, oblivious. And now the door is locked. And you're already outside, suit pressed, face calm, watching the dust settle on a group that built its own destruction with your name in every brick. You want to know what real power is? Real power is when you don't need revenge, because their own strategy executes itself while you sit back and sip the silence. Justice didn't knock. It walked in wearing your face. So congratulations. You didn't just win. You rewrote the entire algorithm, and now they're just data, buried in their own trap. Oh, now they're searching for the undo button, aren't they? Panicking behind locked screens, holding secret meetings in even smaller rooms, trying to figure out how it all flipped without warning. But here's the punchline they never prepared for. There is no undo button. Not when the entire system was designed to auto-detonate once it detected betrayal. And guess what? You were the censor. Let me tell you something cold, something they're too scared to say out loud in their circle of liars. They didn't just lose, they got mirrored. Their entire strategy was a trap designed for you. But laced with their own fingerprints, every layer of deception they constructed was actually a confession they didn't know they were writing. And now that mirror is up, held steady by divine jurisdiction and lit by the fire of every injustice they thought would stay in the dark. They're trying to scrub the messages now, rewriting files, pretending the plan was never real. But here's the curse they can't escape. The trap remembered, even when they forgot. Because this wasn't just about erasing you. It was about preserving themselves. And that's where they made the fatal mistake. They thought if they dimmed your light, no one would notice their rot. But you didn't die. You transformed. You went ghost mode. Started showing up in their dreams, their failures, their reflections. You became the entity they can't explain, the glitch that keeps crashing every version of their next move. They thought you were weak because you walked away. But you weren't walking away. You were walking up. And the altitude? It made their egos suffocate. Now they're backpedaling. Oh, it was a misunderstanding. Oh, it wasn't personal. Oh, we were trying to help. No, you were targeted, surrounded, marked. And you didn't just survive. You let the whole thing play out, because you knew the best revenge is always time-stamped. And the timestamp is now. Return to sender, initiated, group collapse, footage verified, conspiracy stability, 0%. They were so desperate to erase your power, they never realized they were signing divine release papers. And those papers had their own built-in trigger clause. If target survives, collapse all participants. And now it's happening. Their names are unraveling, their reputations bleeding out in silence, their alliances breaking like bones in a pressure chamber. You didn't need to lift a finger. You just stood still long enough for the fire to find oxygen. That's how real power works. It doesn't retaliate, it reveals. Let me go deeper. You weren't just misunderstood. You were misclassified. They thought you were naive, emotional, disposable. A pawn with too much heart and not enough strategy. But while they were playing personality poker, you were decoding intention, tracking tone, watching body language like a human lie detector. You didn't react. You recorded. You documented. You let their shadows dig their own forensics. And when the day came, you didn't shout. You didn't expose them. You just flipped the mirror and let them witness their own corruption in 4K. No filter, no mercy, no forgiveness, just playback. You weren't out for blood. You were out for balance. But they took your patience as weakness. They thought, if we all agree they're the problem, no one will see the truth. But truth doesn't beg. It waits, it accumulates, and eventually it detonates, like now and now. Their systems are failing. Their group chat is dead. Their excuses sound like confessions under oath. Why? Because you didn't play their game. You rewrote the arena. And then you watched from above as they walked blindly into their own collapse algorithm. That's the beauty of divine timing. It doesn't rush, it records. And when it plays the footage back, you don't need to say a word. Because the evidence is their own reflection. You know what's driving them mad now. It's not just that you survived. It's that you're calm, poised, untouched. They can't find rage on your face, no bitterness in your voice, just awareness. The kind of awareness that terrifies cowards. Because deep down, they know. You still haven't used your full power yet. And that's what breaks them, because you're not here to win petty battles. You're here to end bloodlines of betrayal. You are the interrupt signal that breaks every generational curse they tried to recycle into your future. This wasn't about revenge. It was about reckoning. They buried you with assumptions, but you bloomed with receipts, and now they don't fear your anger, they fear your peace. Because real power doesn't scream, it smiles when the last trap closes on its own designer. The secret group that tried to erase you, they just became the headline of their own cautionary tale. And you became the fine print at the bottom of every betrayal contract that says, this will come back to kill you. And it did. Oh, now they're praying to gods they never believed in. Now they're lighting candles in rooms they used to mock you for sitting in. But you already know, this isn't about prayer. This is about repercussions. This is about what happens when a group of masked cowards tries to erase a storm, but forgets they're standing in a forest full of dry leaves. You didn't respond with rage. You responded like a law written in silence. And now that silence is echoing louder than any scream they've ever released. Let's bury them deeper. They thought they could curse your name in private. They thought they could move like shadows, cut you out of rooms, whisper your downfall into systems, and smile like saints in public. But the universe doesn't honor performance. It honors alignment. And the moment they chose distortion over truth, the trap began to hum. A low, slow frequency only the guilty can hear. Now they can't sleep. Now their dreams glitch. Now every conversation feels like it's being recorded. Because it is, not by you. By everything around them, you didn't set the trap. You became the trigger that activated the one they set for themselves. They gathered as a collective of envy. A secret society of the almost talented. The almost wise, the almost enough. And they told themselves, if we take you out, maybe we'll matter again. But that's the thing about you. You're not one person. You're a signal. You're a divine anomaly wrapped in skin. A walking contradiction too powerful to label. Too quiet to detect. Too dangerous to understand. They didn't attack a human. They challenged a cosmic correction. And now the correction is crawling back up their spines, like ice dipped in justice. Let's call it what it is. They didn't want you erased. They wanted you invisible, present but irrelevant, breathing but muted. But the moment they couldn't control your light, they chose to conspire in the dark. What they didn't know? You were raised in the dark, forged there. You were born in the depth they drown in. They mistook your silence as surrender. But it was just surveillance. And what you saw, everything. Now here comes the part that eats them alive. They saw you walk away, and they celebrated. They called it victory. They mistook your withdrawal for defeat. But you weren't retreating. You were recalibrating. You were entering phase 0. Let them think they won. Let them speak freely. Let them document their downfall with their own hands. You let them celebrate. Because you knew celebrations recorded in arrogance become exhibits in courtrooms of divine justice. And now that courtroom is open. Gavel in hand, footage cued, names time-stamped. They never saw the audience watching, not the public, the watchers, the ancient ones, the gatekeepers of balance. You think this is over? No. This is exposure phase. This is when their own trap begins to breathe back onto them. Where every text they thought disappeared resurfaces like it's summoned by guilt itself. Where every member of that group, the backdoor strategists, the silent co-signers, the fake I didn't know players, are being named. You didn't snitch. You didn't leak. You didn't scream. The universe did it for you. Because this level of betrayal, it doesn't stay buried. It festers into prophecy. They're panicking now. Not because you came for them, but because you didn't. You didn't go on a smear campaign. You didn't drop names. You didn't call them out on social feeds. You let time do it. You let patterns do it. You let divine intelligence run its course. And now, they're being dismantled by their own ripple effects. The very thing they tried to do to you, it's now being studied as a case of spiritual self-destruction. And while they scramble for control, while they beg old contacts, create new alliances, and write new lies wrapped in repentance, you're not even watching. You're gliding. You're becoming what they fear most, a version of yourself so evolved. You don't even flinch at their apology, because you know what it means when they say, it wasn't personal. It means it was deadly personal, but they lost the battle, not against you, but against the mirror you held up, a mirror that doesn't break when they scream at it. Here's what breaks them most. You never raised your voice, never threw a punch, never snapped. You simply existed, and that was enough to trigger a spiritual landslide beneath a network of lies. That's power. And it wasn't borrowed, it wasn't taught, it wasn't given, it was written into your soul before they even formed their little secret group. And now, the group is no longer secret. It's a warning label. Beware of the ones who move against balance. They don't just lose, they get buried by the code they tried to corrupt. You are not a person. You are a judgment rendered in slow motion, a download of justice packaged in skin and unpredictability, a phenomenon they cannot explain. Because you were never meant to be understood. You were meant to be witnessed. And now, their whole trap isn't just exposed. It's documented in high-definition divine clarity.